I love talking about Far Cry and the future of Far Cry on this channel, but today we have a less than exciting news report from Southeast Asia IGN.com, and I'm sure you can find this as well on comicbook.com. But I'm reading this article from Southeast Asia IGN.com, which reads, literally a Far Cry 7, still a long way to go according to Insider. Now we know the lead director on this Far Cry series from the past has left, and there is a new lead director now, and it also looks like they will be skipping the Far Cry 6 spin-off entry, which they usually go for with Far Cry Primal and Far Cry New Dawn. So we never really got one in Far Cry 6, yet we did get the Lost Worlds expansion. However, the next game is set to be not only one but two games: Far Cry 7, which is going to be the single player game that we in the mainline franchise that we are all used to, and also a multiplayer Extraction Far Cry standalone title. But let's read this report on Far Cry 7. Far Cry 7 has reportedly not yet begun development, implying that it is still some time away according to an insider. If the report told any truth, the gap between Far Cry 6 and 7 will be significantly greater than the gap between 5 and 6. Between the two previous games was only a 3-year delay, but if Far Cry 7 hasn't begun development, there's no way it'll be able to release next year. An insider by the handle of Script has pointed out that the game has yet to start development. For those unfamiliar with this Script, they are a well-known leaker. They were recently responsible for a first look at the gameplay of Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. And at Script Leaks R6, his tweet reads, Far Cry 7 has not started development. Now, Ubisoft is very busy, especially this year with Skull and Bones, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, and Assassin's Creed Mirage. And next year we've got Star Wars Outlaws and the new report that Assassin's Creed Codename Red may be coming. So when Codename Red releases next year, if that rumor is accurate, we can expect the Assassin's Creed Infinity Hub to also release. Now, my theory is they wanted to wait to see how the Assassin's Creed Infinity Hub performs and kind of work out the bugs and kinks to the system. And they do really have high expectations for the Infinity Hub, as it's going to carry out the future of Assassin's Creed. And we know that there are 11 Assassin's Creed games in development, and a majority of them will be linked to the Assassin's Creed Infinity Hub. We also had past reports on the fact that insiders have claimed that Ubisoft want to adopt this Infinity Hub system for their other IPs, and most likely to get the treatment after the Assassin's Creed franchise is the Far Cry franchise. I think Far Cry makes the most sense because it has been kind of the same game ever since Far Cry 3, with just different maps and improved graphics and slight improvements on gameplay. And remember that Far Cry is still one of Ubisoft's biggest franchises. But continuing with the article, it says, another report indicates that the game has gone through the planning phase multiple times, but has yet to materialize anything substantial to consider as development. Far Cry 7 is known internally as Project Blackbird, while the multiplayer experience is known as Project Maverick. Both projects are said to be heavily involved with Ubisoft Montreal. The sequel is believed to be at least a couple years away, with a potential release window of 2025. Despite the optimistic outlook, the publisher's track record with delays may indicate that the game's release is even further away. So it seems like they have been planning Far Cry 7, and they've been doing some brainstorms on what they want and what they want the story to be, and maybe some new gameplay mechanics, but nothing has really become of anything so far. I do think with the new director of the Far Cry series, he wants to take the game in a different direction. Not necessarily a complete reboot, but he wants to add new features, and he doesn't want this new game to be compared as just another Far Cry 3 with a new fresh coat of paint and a new map. I mean, to be honest, if you were to make another Far Cry game, it's not that difficult in the planning stages, I don't think. I think if it were to be like anything like 6, 5, 4 and 3, it would be easier to develop for. It would be easier to get ideas for what the next game would be, because it's kind of a copy and paste job. So the fact that they've been planning, it's gone through the planning phase multiple times and they haven't really got anything, and it still hasn't started development, is kind of, to me, a good sign for the future of the Far Cry series. It shows that they are trying to make it different. It shows that they are trying to bring something else to the Far Cry franchise. So I'm definitely looking at this with rose-tinted glasses. I'm not that excited for the multiplayer Project Maverick game, but I am, of course, very, very excited, and I cannot wait to see what they have in store for Far Cry 7's Project Blackbird. And if you've played Far Cry 6, we know that Vaas was heavily teased not only at the end of the main story, but also in the Stranger Things DLC. We know Vaas is alive and he's on the island of Yara. So I think it would be an amazing idea to make Far Cry 7's main protagonist Vaas himself and tell a story of redemption. In the Vaas Insanity DLC, we saw from Vaas's perspective that he wasn't actually all that of a bad guy, and he actually saw Jason Brody, the main protagonist from Far Cry 3, as a crazy person. So I think telling a story from Vaas's perspective would be very, very interesting. They also brought in a third person in the hub area, so maybe they are trying something with third person and making Far Cry a game where now you can switch between first and third person modes, which I wouldn't mind, to be honest. Even to have that option would be cool. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is a good sign for the future of the Far Cry series? And when do you think we will get an announcement and a release date for the next Far Cry game? Also, let me know in the comment section below, what kind of storyline, what kind of map do you guys want to see? I know there's been rumors of the next game taking place in the Arctic. Would you guys enjoy a snowy, wintry setting for the Far Cry series? Let me know down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I have so much other videos on Far Cry 7, the Ubisoft Ghost Recon franchise, Splinter Cell, and a lot of upcoming Star Wars game, which you can go ahead and check out. I'll leave it in the description and comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out, God bless. I'll see you in one of my next videos. Take care, guys.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my